wanted to share a little bit about the background of how Suzanne and I got involved with the Democratic Republic of Congo. It goes back to 6 years ago when we were invited to come over and serve in a short-term mission role in Gemena, which is the northwest corner of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Neither one of us had ever been to the Congo. We had a lot of trepidation about the trip, everything from safety to health to effectiveness. But we went, and our lives have never been the same. And I was there to serve as an entrepreneur, teaching some background that I had experienced in Silicon Valley for the last 30 years. And Suzanne was there to help with the formation of the orphanage. And when I was participating as an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, I never felt I was being prepared to go share that story to hundreds of young people in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the unemployment rate was 90+%. The resources were scarce. The economy was almost non-existent. But lo and behold, there I was, telling some stories, doing some anecdotal referrals. And what I realized was I was able to give them an environment that would just give them an intro on what entrepreneurship was like. And one of the first tasks that we talked about was choice. And we went through a narrative of how we would break up into teams and develop business plans that we would then be funding at the end of this course for them to start their own micro business. And first thing I realized is these students had never had an experience that they've gone through personally where they made a choice. They voted on something that would affect them and their lives. And we went through a sort of a process of, pick your own team, have the team picked for you by me as the instructor, or have a captain pick it. And overwhelmingly, they came back and said, we'd like to pick it ourselves. And then the dynamic of watching them go through that exercise where roughly 60 students, and we said, let's have 5 teams, and we'll have 12 people each team, and we'll go around the room starting in a sequence. For the first person, you have to start your own team because there's no other team to join. So they went through and said, okay, first person, they start a team. Second person, pressure, they join that first person and make a 2-person team. Third person comes up, pressure again, they join as a 3rd person in that team. 4th person was a woman, and she goes, I'm starting my own team. And all the students just go crazy. They're going, whoa, look at all this, look at it. And then all of a sudden the dynamic for the 5th person was join the first team with 3 people, or join this young woman who had started her 2nd team. And you saw the dynamics of those team members, because this person obviously was popular and skilled. They both wanted that person to join their team. So the bantering that was going on, and eventually that 5th person picked the girls' 2nd team. And then the 6th person came up again, picked their own team, started their own team. But the dynamics of watching choice happen for these young students that they'd never experienced before enlightened me to say just a little bit of a window of opportunity, these students will thrive. And at the end of that 5 days of sharing, we came up with 6 different business plans out of the 5 teams, because obviously good entrepreneurs have more than one idea, and we funded them. And I can share with you 5 years later that they've all been successfully built and have employees and have just been thriving. And that was the beginning of the vision of CongoVoice. As Suzanne and I were preparing to come back, Masai Senguma, who was president of the university, felt that there had been an impact in that community. And he said, would you consider really being a participant with us as you go back to America and share our story and share the needs of not only the students, but also the young people that had no homes and so little hope. So going back to America, Suzanne and I talked about it on our 25-hour trip back to San Francisco. And at the conclusion of a few days of prayer, discussion, counseling with other people, I called Masai on Skype and said, we're all in. Suzanne had picked the name CongoVoice, and we said, we'd really like to focus on three things with you. The first, let's help the children that have so little hope and they're orphans living on the street. So let's build an orphanage, let's give them security, let's give them health, let's give them water, let's give them education, let's clothe them, let's educate them and give them hope. And since then we have built an orphanage and have impacted over 100 young people. The second was the students. As they were developing their life career, there were so little options for them. So we said, let's build vocational training for skills or college training for broader career opportunities. And we have launched an entrepreneurial style vocational training based business model there. And then the third was the microfinancing. How do we allow these young entrepreneurs to have a chance with a little bit of seed money, then their lives can be changed because there's so little employment there. So that was the concept of CongoVoice 5 years ago. And I can share with you with a lot of just excitement and pride and gratitude that we have changed the lives of thousands of people. Not only through the, rescuing of the students or rescuing of the children and evolving these students through their vocational training, but the impact it's had across the community within Gemina. And now the vision is for sustainability. Sustainability for the orphanage, sustainability for the university, and sustainability for the microfinancing environment. And with that, we've taken a couple of different broad steps. The stepping stones had been digging wells for clean water, providing education with scholarships, providing solar power for electricity, providing internet for communications and education and vocational training. And now we are embarking on a medical clinic that will create revenue for the Children's Center and also for a community center in the central part of Gemina. We were fortunate enough, Masai had come across some land right in the center of the town, which is really the development is going on. We purchased about an acre of land there 3 years ago, and we've got it designed for a community center, which will do outreach for the children that aren't capable of being served outside of a half a day of education. We'll supplement that with additional education and also an internet cafe. We'll have a retail operation. We'll have community center activities from weddings to gatherings to celebrations. We'll have a location that we're going to put a central generator to supply electricity to so many of the facilities there in Central Gemina that have no access to power. So it's going to really transform the local marketplace there. Since we've started that, there's been 2 banks that have joined us in that one block of the marketplace, and for the first time there's going to be a hotel that's being built, which will be able to support nationals as well as visitors. So the transition for Gemina has just been outstanding. And during the election process over the last year or two and the shift from 11 provinces to 26 provinces, Gemina has become a capital city. And that has allowed a lot more infrastructure to be invested in by the government, also a lot of more interest into the area than we had ever possibly hoped. And that's going to give us a lot more opportunity to serve the people there. So a lot of exciting times, and without your help, it wouldn't be possible. So I think we've got good targeted focus on children, students, and entrepreneurs, and I think we have good success rate of the kids that have gone through the cycle, gone into education, gone into entrepreneurial studies, launched their own business, and now they're able to sustain a life that's independent and sustainable. And with the community center and with the medical center, we've got the revenue that we can produce that have the sustainability as well in the community. So thank you so much for your support. We appreciate all your prayers, all your thoughts, and your financial resources, and look forward to see how CongoVoice can be used to transform not only an area of the Congo, but potentially the entire country of the Democratic Republic of Congo.